You find it in a kitchen drawer, buried under dead batteries and expired coupons. A $2 Bick lighter you grabbed at a checkout lane and forgot about. It's month 14 without power. Your neighbor just walked 2 miles through the rain to knock on your door, and he's not here to borrow sugar. He's holding a gold Rolex, the one he used to show off at barbecues, and he's offering it to you. For that lighter, one flick of your thumb is worth more than the watch he spent 10 years paying off. And the worst part? You both know it's a fair trade. Because here's the part nobody on those shiny finance channels will ever tell you. In a real boots-on-the-ground collapse, gold doesn't feed you. Gold doesn't boil your water. Gold doesn't stitch a wound on your kid's leg at 2 a.m. when the nearest hospital is a burnt-out shell. Gold is a bet that someone, somewhere, still believes in a system. And in a grid-down world, that bet pays out in exactly nothing. What pays out is the dumb, cheap, almost insulting little piece of junk sitting in a drawer in your kitchen right now. Stick with me. We're going through 7 of them. Each one costs you less than a pizza today. Each one will trade for a week of food, a tank of fuel, or a night under a real roof when the world goes sideways. And one of them, the 7th one, is so stupidly overlooked that even career preppers forget to stock it, and it'll be the single most requested item on day 60. We'll get there. Cheap item number 1, the $2 Bick lighter. Fire is civilization compressed into a plastic tube. You flick your thumb and you get heat, light, cooked food, purified water, and a signal to other humans that you're alive. A single Bick gives you roughly 3,000 lights. 3,000. That's 3,000 hot meals. 3,000 boiled pots of creek water. 3,000 mornings where your hands aren't blue. Now look at the guy across the trade table who's been rubbing 2 sticks together for 6 months because he watched one YouTube video on bushcraft. He'll give you his watch. He'll give you his wife's earrings. He'll give you whatever you want for that yellow stick of fossil fuel. Buy them in bulk. A 10-pack is less than a tank of gas. After the lights go out, each one of those is worth a small arsenal. Pro move, wrap a rubber band around the bottom in case the button sticks, and keep one in every bag, every coat, every glove box. Cheap item number 2, the sewing needle. Sounds boring. It's not. A steel sewing needle is a miracle of forging that most people can't replicate without a workshop and 3 months of practice. You can patch clothes, sew wounds, lance blisters, pick splinters, fix a sail, stitch leather, make fishing hooks. A pack of 100 assorted needles is maybe $4 on Amazon right now. In a collapse, 1 needle goes for a chicken. I'm not exaggerating. Look at post-war Germany in 1946, when a single sewing needle on the Berlin black market traded for a pound of bread and 2 eggs. That's documented. People threaded needles until the eye wore through. When factories stop and ships stop, the tiny things you can't make in your garage become emperors. Buy the needles. Cheap item number 3, the manual can opener, $3. 2, if you hit a dollar store on the right day. And here's the dirty little joke the prepper industry doesn't want you thinking about. People stockpile hundreds of cans of food. Beans, soup, peaches, Spam. They fill entire basements. And then they forget that the only working can opener in the house runs off the wall. Rip the power away, and they're standing in a vault of sealed metal, beating cans against concrete, slicing their hands open, trying to eat their own food. A manual opener is a key to a $1,000 pantry. If you've got one and your neighbor doesn't, guess who just became the most popular person on the block? Buy 3. Give 2 away when the time comes. You'll earn loyalty cheaper than lead. Quick pause. Because I need you actually locked in for this next part. If what we're talking about makes your stomach tighten even a little, hit that subscribe button. Not for me. For you. The algorithm buries this stuff on purpose, and if you don't subscribe now, you won't see the next one, and the next one is the one that might actually save someone in your family. Back to it. Cheap item number 4. The Sawyer Mini Water Filter, or anything like it, $25. Filters 100,000 gallons. Think about that number for a second. 100,000 gallons. That's a lifetime of drinking water for a family of 4 from one scuzzy plastic tube the size of a highlighter. Water is the first killer in every collapse scenario. Not the bombs, not the bandits, dysentery, cholera, giardia. The invisible army of microscopic parasites that lives in every creek, every puddle, every rain barrel. They've been waiting for the chlorine to stop flowing for a century. The Sawyer ends them, cuts them off at the molecular door. Here's the science, fast. The filter has pores rated at 0.1 microns. Bacteria are bigger than that. Protozoa are much bigger. They literally cannot fit. They slam into the wall and die. You sip clean, stack 3 of these in your house, and you've bought your family a year of not dying from the thing that killed more soldiers in the Civil War than bullets did. Cheap item number 5. Reading glasses. Yes. Cheap drugstore reading glasses. Cheap drugstore reading glasses, the kind that spin on a rack at the pharmacy for $10. Here's a number nobody talks about. Roughly 60% of adults over 40 need correction to read fine print. That's most of the country. And in a collapse, there are no more optometrists, no more Warby Parker, no more online prescriptions. When someone's reading glasses snap, they go from a functioning adult to a person who can't read a label on a medicine bottle, can't thread a needle, can't clean a rifle, can't read a map. Their world shrinks to an arm's length. I learned this from a guy who lived through the Balkan Wars, and he told me the single most traded item in his building for 2 years wasn't food. It was reading glasses. People traded gold chains for a pair of plus 2.5 cheaters. Buy a dozen in different strengths. Store them flat, wrapped in cloth. You will thank me. Cheap item number 6. The hand-crank NOAA radio. $30, maybe less on sale. When the cell towers go dark and your phone becomes a piece of glass in a dead rectangle, information becomes oxygen. Which roads are blocked? Which towns are burning? Where the relief convoys are? Which direction the storm is going? People in blackouts don't die from the blackout. They die from making bad decisions because they have no data. A hand-crank radio gives you a tether to whatever's left of the organized world. Crank it for 1 minute. Listen for 10. That's a fair trade. Get one with a USB port so it can also SIP charge a phone. And here's the thing most people miss. Practice using it now, tonight. Learn where the emergency broadcast frequencies sit. Because fumbling with a new device by candlelight while your kids are crying is not the training moment you want. Cheap item number 7. The one I told you we'd come back to. The one career preppers forget. Ready? A small tube of superglue. Cyanoacrylate. $2 at the hardware store. This stuff was literally invented for the battlefield. In Vietnam, medics sprayed it on wounds to stop bleeding long enough to get a soldier to surgery. It seals cuts. It repairs boots, glasses frames, busted knife handles, leaking pots. A single tube of superglue has maybe 100 practical repairs in it. Remember that trader at the beginning who laughed at your wedding ring? He's got a cracked water jug he's been duct taping for a month. You hand him superglue, and suddenly you're not a customer. You're a god. Buy 10 tubes. Store them cold. They last years. Now here's the pattern underneath all 7 of these, and I want you to really sit with it. Every single one of them is a piece of modern industrial civilization you cannot recreate in your backyard. Not a needle, not a filter, not a lighter, not a lens. They require factories, supply chains, a functioning world. When that world stops, the supply stops, but the demand explodes. Basic economics. Scarcity plus necessity equals value. Gold is scarce but not necessary. A Bick lighter in month 14 is both. That's why a gold coin and a bucket of lighters, one of them is a relic, and the other one is a currency. You already know which is which. Real quick, I'm curious. What's the single cheapest item in your house right now that you think would be worth more than gold after 6 months without power? Drop it in the comments. I read them, and honestly, the best items I've ever added to my own kit came from people in those comments, not from any book. So picture it again. Month 14. Another knock at the door. Only this time, you don't flinch. You open it, holding a Ziplocked bag with 3 lighters, a pack of needles, a tube of glue, and a pair of reading glasses. The man on your porch looks at the bag. Then he looks at you. And he nods, slow. Because you're not a customer anymore. You're somebody who saw this coming. Tired, dirty, still standing. Hungry. Maybe. Scared, probably. But not broke. Not in the way that matters. If this one got your head spinning even a little, hit the like button before you click away, because the next video in this series is the one about what cheap items you should absolutely not be caught trading, no matter how good the offer looks. You don't want to miss that one. Stack it. Don't flash it.